uh, 5, 10 pips, I trade like 30, 40, 50 pips. And then I do take partial sometimes, but then I still give out give out most of it. So I'm wondering, like, does it for funded accounts, does it make sense to, when you're up 2 hour or 3 hour, you take the profit and then you move on to the next trade and you like build on like 2, 3 hours, 2, 3 hours like that? Or do you try to, or yeah, because that's the issue I'm facing right now. Like swinging isn't working for me because I'm giving back. Do you have any thoughts on that?
So your
Mhm.
question is any thoughts on partialing, right? Or like taking
Partialing
profits?
and also, yeah, so like what right now the way I'm planning is at 2 hour I will take 50% off, and at 3 hour I will close 90% and let the 10% run. So
Okay.
basically I get around
Uh-huh.
2.5 hour for the risk.
Mm-hmm.
You
Um
think that's sensible?
whoa, huge gap. Um yeah. How do I say this? You back test and forward test your strategy, okay? That's my advice. But personally, let's say I took this trade, this one. Then let's say my target was this part zone here. This is how I would do it. Okay, let's just simplify it so we can see structure points. Let's just say we sold at this OB. Do you know are you a smart money trader or no?
Yeah, I understand the concept.
Okay. Let's just say okay, I didn't take this. Let's just say this or no B I sold.
Right.
Personally, let's say price was here. Say price was there. I would partial on, let's just go on the 5 minute. Yep, I would partial, wait. First of all, I would partial when it's 1.5 RR. Wait, not all the time, but let's just say I partial on OBs, like the open of the OBs. So, but that does not mean that every open of the OB I partial. Like this one, you see there's an open OB, this one. Let's just mark that up. That's only 1.11 RR. So that doesn't meet my criteria. I want at least 1.5 RR above. So at least 1.5. Yeah, let's just say there. So technically I could partial here. This is like near the 50% of the OB. But at this point, since it's a very huge pull up to the upside, so maybe lots of imbalance you can see here. Maybe I can partial at this point. Why would I partial at this point? This is the first partial, okay? Partial at this point because you'll see this is an open of an OB right here. This part on a bigger time frame, I believe on an 1R, this is an OB. And there it is. It shows there's an OB and a huge imbalance. So we're expecting it to get filled. Expecting it to get filled. Then, as soon as I take my first partial at this point, I then move my stop loss to my entry point. Okay? Then I would look, I then look for, I then look for my second partial, which is probably the low of this OB, liquidity low, or at the end of this OB, because technically the overall market structure, I'm expecting it a bullish rundown. That's why I marked it down, because I'm expecting this. So I'm expecting price to go way lower. That's why I put my partial here. This is partial 2. As soon as partial 2 hits, I'll probably move my stop loss. So it hit here. I'll probably move my stop loss here. At this point, I hope you can see. I'll just mark it like this. Why would I move it like that? Because there's an OB here. So what I'm expecting, let me just erase this. So what I'm expecting is price went lower, then bounce at the OB and continue lower. That's my expectation. That's why I put my stop loss above here. Because if I put my stop loss on maybe here or here, like at the very pinpoint, price could, do a liquidity grab and go lower. That's why, but I'm not really aggressive that much on my trailing stop. But that's how I would do it. So yeah, and your main question is it worth taking to do a partials, right?
Yeah,
The
like,
trailing stop.
are you worried about destroying the overall RR of the trade while taking so
Yeah,
many
that is
partials?
true. Yeah. Okay. Here's the
Do
thing.
you worry about that?
Yeah, that's why you back test and that's why you forward test so you know what to expect in your current strategy. So I'm aggressive partial. I aggressively partial my trades. So I know, and I've done, what do you call this? I've done enough research to, what happened? Wait, did I leave? Oh, my screen. Did my screen? Wait, did my screen turn on? Okay, wait, hold up. Wait, let me fix my screen. Screen, yeah, let's go to screen 2. Wait, hold up, guys. I'm recording on. Okay, so I'll show you. Okay, yeah, so let's just take this for an example. This one. Do you see my web opening?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You see
It's
the
okay. It's
partial?
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You took
So
also to
yeah,
buy
well,
on the
yeah, this is a
EURUSD.
yeah, this was I think over. Well, let's just remove this replay tool. I believe it was here. Yeah, I took the buy. Then there was a
Yeah,
huge OB
yeah,
here.
yeah,
So yeah, I took the
yeah.
buy, then set the TP here. Then honestly, where is it? Honestly, I could set my stop. You'll see the a little bit highlight here. That's the larger OB. I could put my TP there, but I didn't because I was in. I don't know if you guys saw that. I was in MFF at that time. Then we were talking, so I couldn't focus that much. So you also have to consider what situation are you in? Maybe just let's just say you're stressed at the moment. So I'd rather, chillax for a moment, don't take trades that much and, recover. So yeah, let's get back to the topic. So yeah, I partialed here and trailed my stop, then hit my TP. And I was happy with that since I back tested and forward tested. So I know what to expect from this. So let's just say this is a 1%, a 1% risk, but I don't risk 1%. I believe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 RR. And I partialed in 2 RR and I partialed in 3 RR again. Then I take profit over here. So I know where to partial and I know what to expect when I partial. So this is a 4 RR. So 4 RR, then I risk 1%. This doesn't mean I take 1%. I mean 4% because I won, but I partialed aggressively. Technically, this is an aggressive partial right here. And yeah, so I know what to expect. I know how much I made and stuff. Yeah, and if you're wondering how I partial, credits to Mr. MentFX, one of my teachers. Let's just say I have 5 lots open. I divide it by 2. So I close 2.5 lots. So at this first partial down, I basically close 50% of my position. Then same with the next one. Then same with this next partial, I still close 50%. So let's say we're at this moment at this first partial, we have 2.5% now. Then we close it again by 50%, so divide by 2. So I close 1.25 at this point. Meaning I have 1.25 running until this point. Okay, that's just an example. I did not take 5 lots. But yeah, that's how I do it. Even though, let me take another example. I think I took a... Wait, I'm looking for it. This was last week. Oh yeah, this one. Do you see my screen? Is it loading? Yeah. So yeah, a partial deer, and partial deer. Oh yeah, and I also, yeah. Okay, I'll show. Yeah, that's why I'm aggressive partialer. Or I don't know that's a term, but yeah. Yeah, but that's why you backtest, so you'll know if this works, okay? Some people might not fit with this type of partialing, but that's why you forward test and backtest. Wait, I'm looking for, I DM someone, one of my moderators, because he was asking. Now I partial. Oh, there it is. Perfect. I think it was this one. Yeah, there it is. So I think this was 0.5 risk. Okay, this was 0.5 risk. Then first partial was there at the liquidity low because I was expecting it to break. 0.66% growth in the account. Next partial, 0.66. Next partial, 0.43%. Next, 0.29, 0.19, 0.22.
Until your lot must be 0.001.
Yeah. And so yeah, that is 2.35% right there. A risk of 0.5%. Very small percentage considering it's a, I believe 2, 3, 4, 1 to 18 over here at this point. Yeah, I believe it's a 1 to 18 if it hits, but I only made 2% because I backtested and I'm happy with it because it's more slow. I'm more keen to preserving my capital. So if you'll see here, it did touch here. Then it touched the trailing stop. Why did I put my trailing stop there? Because if you'll see, there's an OB here. So I'm expecting it to pull up and bounce on the OB and go down. But, hit my trailing stop and I think I got out 2%, somewhere 2%. So
Yes,
yeah.
you're happy to take these small 2% wins to build up the account and not try to go for larger wins.
Yeah, I'm super happy because this is a slow growth, but also reduces your, what do you call this? Your drawdown. You know, the 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 pace of your drawdown.
Right.
Hey,
So yeah.
Jack, bro.